This is episode 36. Hear that? How to rise above the noise. Welcome to Alive by Design. My name is Blake Mallon, and we're here to bring you inspiring people, principles, and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. Open your mind and let's dive in. Hey guys, before you listen to the podcast, I just want to drop in and say I appreciate you for being here, and I'm super excited about this new Walk With Me series. These are solo episodes where I take some time in the middle of my morning run through the Santa Monica Mountains to share some inspired ideas and thoughts on my mind and heart. If you want to join me for any of these conversations live, you can catch me many mornings on my Facebook page, facebook.com/BlakeMallon.page. Would love to see you there. Love you guys. Enjoy the episode. Walk with me for a few minutes. Is it just me, or is there a lot of noise in the world right now? Like loud, consistent, never-ending noise coming from every direction simultaneously, it feels like. And I know there's a lot of us where right now just the nonstop noise we're experiencing can be totally distracting. How many of you have found that it's hard to maintain focus on what you know you want right now? Distraction on demand everywhere we turn. Beyond distraction, the noise right now can be totally overwhelming. Like just a lot. A weight we're carrying. And beyond overwhelming, I think the noise that a lot of people are experiencing right now, it can be straight up debilitating. It can be straight up crippling. How many of you can relate to some of those feelings? Either distraction, an overwhelmness, or right now you feel like you're frozen or crippled from going where you want to go just because of what is in the air, the conversation. Because I want to talk this morning with y'all about how we can rise above the noise that's in the world right now. But I want to talk about this noise. The non-stop conversation, shifting opinion, polarizing perspectives that feels like we're coming from every angle. It's like we're in a freaking battle. It's like a bullet every day from every direction. Man, it's been a crazy year. And how we rise above it. I think there's kind of three phases we have to push through to get above the noise and kind of get our peace back. The first phase we have to push through is we have to push through all of the propaganda, the freaking propaganda that is everywhere right now. And yes, I use that term with intention because it's propaganda. What do I mean by propaganda? Propaganda is media being used to influence a perspective. It's media with a motive. And we have it all around us right now, everywhere we turn. You know, I think it's funny that we still call, some of these stations news stations. When if we really were to step back, these stations are not in the business of sharing news. Maybe at one time in a different era, news stations were in the business of sharing news. But make no mistake about it, guys. Today, what we maybe still in legacy language call news stations, they are propaganda media machines. And they are creating so much noise, distraction, weight, confusion, debilitation, freezing so many people. It's crazy right now. And I don't mean to take an attack if there's a channel you love to watch, a news source you love to read. But I do want to challenge all of you to consider the source. You guys, most of these media companies, they're not in the news game, they're in the content game today. And we got to step back and realize they are businesses, just like any other business, with a obligation or motive to make a dollar, to grow their influence, with a motive to accomplish a certain agenda. And I know you've heard it before, but are we really filtering the information we're receiving through the lens of, man, this station I'm watching, this channel I'm plugging into, this feed I'm following, at the end of the day, they need to make money. They're owned by a certain group of people that have an agenda. And you guys, the reality is negative news has always sold more than positive news. And that's just a reality. We're drawn to drama. Have you ever seen a reality show that was just the perfect happy family? No, we're drawn to drama, negativity, chaos, dysfunction, fear. We are attracted to it. Statistically, it's where the eyeballs go. It's what grabs our attention. It's what keeps us sucked in. Some of you guys are like, why is that even the case? It's not just statistically, it's scientifically. You guys, our brains are wired to pay attention or be more alert to negativity, to negative news, i.e. to threats. We are hardwired. At one point in our heritage, that was probably a useful skill for survival. We needed to be drawn to something that was wrong, something that was negative. We get alert. It hijacks our emotions. Our senses go up. We're attracted to that biologically. Except today we don't live in a time where I don't think there's a saber-toothed tiger around here chasing us. And instead, media, propaganda has learned this and they exploit it to make a dollar, to push an agenda. And we end up being the ragdolls. They get yanked all over the place. An emotional roller coaster from our living room every single day. And you guys, the first thing we have to do to rise above the noise is understand that we are being influenced by propaganda everywhere, driven by a dollar, driven by an agenda. Which is okay if you're okay with it. So don't get me wrong. I am not negative to the companies. They're doing what their job is. A lot of them are extremely successful at it. Hats off to the media empires that have figured this out. Smart people. But if you're unaware and it's causing you chaos, stressing you out, putting unneeded baggage or weight on your shoulders, you got to break free from all of that. You got to push through the propaganda to rise above the noise. How do we do it? Consider the source. Ask yourself the questions. What is their agenda? What is their business? Why are they doing this? Is this the truth? These are questions we want to ask. Everything starts with awareness, but you can do something about it. If you want to rise above the noise, to sit back and say, oh, I'm strong enough that it doesn't affect me. You guys, I've never met anybody. I don't care how much personal growth, how much meditation, how many mentors you've had. I've never met a person that is strong enough to not be influenced by non-stop repetitive references in their senses. I've never met it. I don't think it's possible. So don't pretend to be the superhero and say you can sit there in front of the television or the news feed taking nonstop negativity and say it doesn't affect you. It affects everybody, all of us. So once you're aware and you consider the source, you got to reduce. Next step would be reduce, set limits on your parameters, set limits on the amount of time you consume it, you let it in, maybe even change your sources to try to find ones that are more, quote unquote, objective, that do deliver the fact without the fear. That's the perfect news source, in my opinion. Give it to me in as short bullets as possible. Give me the facts without the hyperbole of the fear or rhetoric around it. You guys, that can happen in short bullets. So maybe consider the source, shift the source. Reduce the time, reduce the intake, change the channel at which you receive your information. Try to limit it to facts, remove the fear. And if you need to cut yourself off for a minute just to get back to peace, cut yourself off for a minute. You guys, you go 21 days without any negative input. Hey, the world's still gonna be out there. It'll be there for you when you get back. You disconnecting is not gonna affect anything except maybe your peace. So step one, guys, to rise above the noise, in my opinion, is to push through the propaganda that right now is in high alert across every one of our screens every single day, compounded by the fact that we have a little more time on our hands given the COVID crisis is making the situation even worse and the propaganda even more powerful. If you guys are willing to push through the propaganda in order to rise above the noise, give me a all capital push in the comments if you're willing to push through. Now, unfortunately, that's not it. To rise above the noise, I wish it was just propaganda. I think that's a big influence right now. We got to be aware. We got to intentionally start to set limits and parameters of how we intake it, or it'll drive us crazy. But once we push through the propaganda, there's another level. And that comes down to where we have to learn how to push through other people's opinions. You see, other people are also being influenced by all the propaganda. And other people now have what they perceive as their own opinions, which probably got inserted there by somebody else's opinion. And there's a lot of people that love to share their opinions. And again, this isn't right or wrong. There's no negative. You know, I'm all for people speaking about what they're passionate about, what they're convicted about. You know, I think we all should stand behind what we value and believe. And there's nothing wrong with people sharing. However, what I'm telling you is you need to have a filter of how you're being influenced by it. Nothing wrong with people sharing what they believe. But when it comes to you got to be aware of how you're being influenced. What's happening to your peace? Is it moving you in a positive direction? Or is it adding to the noise and the chaos and the confusion and the dysfunction? Well, how do you filter other people's opinions? Consider the source. Just like you do with the propaganda machines, consider the source. You guys, when you are listening to an opinion of somebody else, filter it by the person you're hearing it from. Is it someone that you trust emphatically? Is it someone that you have high regard for their intelligence or logic or emotional, intelligence or stability? Are they in a position that you would love to be? Do they live their life by the value system you look up to? Are they someone that you would model yourself after? Are they someone that you would want to learn from? And you guys, there's a lot of people out there that fall into those buckets. And if you find someone that you look at, you're like, wow, they align with your values. They align with your beliefs. They live the value system and the life that you aspire to. They are that example. They've achieved certain milestones you desire. They're in a place you want to get to. By all means, listen intently. Open up both ears. Learn from people. You guys, that's a huge, huge asset we can all do. But so often, it's not that. So often, the people that are quickest to give their opinion sometimes are the people that shouldn't be giving an opinion. And the problem is we don't step back and filter or consider the source, and it influences us. It influences us. It influences us. You guys got to learn that while we should appreciate, respect, honor, be empathetic, seek to understand other people's opinions, we also aren't obligated to make everybody else's opinion our own. And if you're in that state where everybody's dumping what they believe on you and you're just taking it, man, that's going to be a lot of weight. That's going to add to a lot of confusion. And you can't hold that. You can't expect to carry everybody on your back. So we got to learn to filter. What do? Again, same process. First, we got to be aware. Then we got to consider the source. And then we got to select the opinions we choose to let in as our own. And sometimes we got to detach for a minute from the conversations, because maybe we're not in a place where we're strong enough. Our filter isn't set enough. Maybe we're worn down a little bit by all the noise bullets we're getting shot by every single day. Then maybe you got to minimize, reduce, disconnect for a minute before you come back. And just like you can change the channel, change the feed, you can change the person or the people that you're allowing to input into your mind and your life every single day, your environment. You get to choose. As the late, great Jim Rohn say, if you don't like your environment, change it. You're not a tree. We have the power of selection and intention. But you got to be willing to push through. The goal is to get strong enough where you can hear the other perspectives and opinions of people around us, and then select the ones you want to be your own. Just make sure you're not automatically absorbing every piece of rhetoric that's coming your way, because that'll hurt you right now. There's so much of it. So we have to be willing to push through the opinions of others to rise above the noise. So first thing, push through. Morning. Push through the propaganda. Push through the opinions of others. Give me an all capital push below in the comments if you're willing to push through. Now, if we push through those two layers, through the media machine, the propaganda, considering the source, through the opinions of others, considering the source, reducing, eliminating, in some cases, selecting others to receive from, what'll be left is you. And what you know to be true. And what you know to be right. And what you know to be correct. And guys, at the end of the day, our whole goal is just to get to the point where we know ourselves, we trust ourselves, we're willing to take input from those around us to better our judgment. But at the end of the day, our opinion is our own, not the opinion of those around us or the channel we're watching or the Facebook feed we're scrolling through. And that's the ultimate goal for all of us, is to get to a place where we're confident enough in who we are, certain enough in what we stand for and what we believe, that we're able to go and decide our own opinions of what's true, of what's false, of what's right, of what's wrong, of what the right step is for us as individuals to move forward. For if we're constantly trying to be what everybody else wants us to be, by definition, we're not being who we are meant to be. And you guys, that's what I mean by rising above the noise, is pulling off all the layers that the world, that the people around us want us to be, what they want us to do, what they want us to think, how they want us to act, and get rid of the they said, strip all of that away, and be able to be and do who we are meant to be and do. You guys, that's a challenge for all of us right now, because there is a lot of noise. So my hope and prayer for all of you and all of us and everybody that's close to us in this time is that we're able to rise above the noise that we're in, because I don't think it's going away anytime soon. So turning it all off and instantly having it go away, I don't think is an option. So the only option we have is to be able to push through it. Push through the propaganda, push through the opinions of others, and be able to distill down into what we know to be true for us and be who we are really meant to be and think what we're really meant to think and take the action we're really meant to take to make the impact we're really meant to make. And that's my hope for all of you guys today. On this beautiful day, top of the mountain, Santa Monica down there, sun is out, summer is coming. Let's rise above the noise, everybody. And I hope everybody has a great day. We're at a time right now where the noise is loud. Don't let it distract you. All right? Don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it cripple you. Let's learn to rise above it and inspire other people to do the same. Have a great day, everybody.
Hey guys, one last thing. I'm super excited that this new podcast, Alive by Design, just went live. You see, I designed the show to bring you inspired thoughts and fascinating conversations with the world's most impactful people, to provide transformative principles and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. And I'd love for you to help me spread the word now. Simply subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on this platform right now. So if I've ever given you value, please do me this personal favor and go subscribe now. And if you found today's episode helpful in any way, make sure you share this with at least one friend today. You have the power right now to change someone's day. So send them a text message with a link to alivebydesign.com, or simply copy and paste the link right from this podcast platform. Who's one person you know right now that you want to see succeed, that you want to see grow, that you want to see feel more alive? Shoot them a text with your largest takeaway from today and be a light in their day. And if you were referred here by a friend, make sure you shoot them a text back and say thank you. I'd love to hear from you directly on what you got from today's podcast. So if you're up for it, drop by my Instagram @BlakeMallon and shoot me a DM. And as always, thank you for showing up. I'm grateful for you, and I hope our time together today in some small way helped you feel a little more alive. Until next time.